We got one Jason Bourne would like. It is an alleged international cover-up scheme involving top-level officials from Iran and Argentina, where the president is accused of protecting terrorists from justice, all for a lucrative trade deal, exchanging Argentine meats and grains for Iranian oil. Now investigators have found a second person's DNA inside the apartment where the prosecutor, who was about to point an accusatory finger at the Argentine president, was found dead from an apparent suicide. Just days after sending his report to the state judiciary. Did the Argentine government send a spy to murder Alberto Nisman? Or did this mysterious other person force him to kill himself to protect the president? Conspiracy theorists, buckle up because this ride goes all the way to the top. Newsmax TV's John Bachman is here with the background. John?
Ed, and we will get to the connection to the United States because there is one here in just a moment. But let's talk about this new twist in this decades-old plot. It was recently revealed. As you mentioned, investigators found a second person's DNA inside the high-rise apartment of the Argentine prosecutor Alberto Nisman. But there is still no cause, or the official cause of death, according to the Argentine government, is suicide. However, on the streets of Argentina, 70% of the public aren't buying it right now, and there's even more skepticism about Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner's government. The intense focus right now is on a guy named Diego Lagomarsino. He has admitted to being inside Nisman's house the day before he was found dead. Lagomarsino also says that he gave Nisman the gun that was found in his apartment next to his dead body, but he says Nisman asked for it because he feared for his life as well as the lives of his two daughters. Now, Lagomarsino's testimony could be crucial in this case. There are a few other key items here to mention that further cloud the case and cast doubt on the Argentine government. Just a few days prior to Nisman's death, you mentioned he filed that report alleging that Argentina's president, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, was involved in the cover-up, and she conspired to protect Iranian officials implicated in this 1994 bombing of a Jewish community center where 85 people were killed. But both Fernandez de Kirchner and Iran have denied any involvement, as you would expect. Now, former CIA operative Gary Bernsen, who you had on your show just a few weeks ago, Ed, he's saying that Fernandez de Kirchner was trying to sweep this whole thing under the rug.
Argentina was in a bind. It had no friends. It's got no friends financially, and they decided to do a whitewash to cut a deal with the Iranians because no one will do business with Iran. This prosecutor was about to put all of this dirty laundry out.
And there you have it. Fernandez is blamed now. She is blaming rogue intelligence agents for Nisman's death and asked her Congress, to dissolve the entire intelligence service. She also claimed that rogue agents misled Nisman on the probe into the bombing, and then they're the ones who actually killed him. Now, the whole case has been spanning for more than 2 decades. No one has ever been convicted for the bombing, but there's been many allegations made, including the most recent ones against the Iranian government. Years ago, around 20 local police officers were arrested and accused of being involved in the plot, but the judge who issued their arrest warrants was later caught in a bribe. The judge was removed from the case in 2003, impeached a few years later, and most of the police officers were either acquitted for lack of evidence or found not guilty. So here we are today. Then back in 2007, Interpol, the international police agency, released the names of 6 Iranians they suspected for their role in the terror attack. But in 2012, the former president of Argentina, Carlos Menem, was ordered to stand trial for obstruction of justice. He was accused of receiving $10 million. So numerous cover-ups here that linked him to Hezbollah and Iran to the attack. Now, 2 of the Iranians who were involved in the probe previously, they have now ascended the ranks of the Iranian government. One actually ran for president. Another one, named Ahmad Vahidi, became the current Minister of Defense back in 2009. A lot of questions now directly involved to the Iranian government. We talked about the American involvement here, Ed. Marco Rubio, actually, who's on the Senate, he's actually the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee now. He sent a letter over to John Kerry, the Secretary of State, telling him basically he doesn't have any confidence in the Argentinian government to conduct a fair investigation here. Now, especially as U.S. lawmakers push for a deal with Iran over its nuclear program, Argentina is tied into all this as well, so it could be a contributing factor here. Argentina since has accused Rubio of meddling in their business, but the intrigue ensues. Ed?
I love it because Hector Timerman, the foreign minister of Argentina, he was named in the documents, and in a recent interview he said, "What do we gain from this guy's death? Gee, I don't know. Silence, perhaps, might almost be part of it." Welcome to James Bond. Also, thanks a lot, John Bachman.
My
Thanks,
pleasure.
John. All right, second hour here on MidPoint. The president who can't bring himself to state the obvious, the tax plans that will boil up into class warfare, and the terrorist group that is more closely aligned with The Godfather. It's coming up right here on MidPoint.